Dear students, welcome to English class. Today, we are dealing with the textbook Hornbill. Prose 1, The Portrait of a Lady, written by Kushwant Singh. So for a better understanding of the lesson, it's divided into two parts. We will be dealing with the first part today, that is page number 3 and 4. About the author Kushwant Singh. Kushwant Singh was an Indian author, lawyer, diplomat, journalist and politician. Born in Punjab, he was educated in New Delhi and studied law at St. Stephen's College, Delhi and King's College, London. After working as a lawyer in Lahore Court for 8 years, he joined the Indian Foreign Service. As a writer, he was best known for his stringent secularism, humor, sarcasm, and an abiding love of poetry. His comparisons of social and behavior characteristics of Westerners and Indians are laced with acid wit. He served as the editor of several literary and news magazines. His experience in the 1947 partition of India inspired him to write Train to Pakistan in 1956, which became his most well-known novel. In 2007, he was awarded the Padma Vibhushan, the second highest civilian award in India. Let's have an overview of the lesson. So here, in this autobiographical account, Kushwant Singh, the author, gives a pen portrait of his grandmother. Okay, the first paragraph of your textbook is given here. You can go through it. As you read the textbook, please go through the vocabulary. The difficult words and their meanings are given. Let's move on to the explanation. The author talks about his grandmother. He had known her for the past 20 years and she had always been old and wrinkled. He was told that she was once young and pretty and had a husband. The author also could see his grandfather's portrait, which was hung on the wall, in which he wore loose-fitted clothes, a turban and had a long white-colored beard that reached his chest. He also appeared very old and the author thought that he was someone who could have many grandchildren but not a wife or children. The author could never imagine that once his grandmother was young and pretty. She used to tell him and his cousins about her childhood memories, like the games she used to play as a child. They found these stories illogical and disrespectful because it was beyond their imagination to think that grandmother was once a child and played such games. They thought that her life stories were like the other moral stories which she used to tell them. Please go through paragraph 2. We can go through the vocabulary for a better understanding of the paragraph. Explanation of the second paragraph. Here the author gives a physical description of her grandmother. His grandmother was short, fat, slightly bent in posture and her face had lots of wrinkles. She seemed so old and she had been the same for the past 20 years. According to the author, she was beautiful but not pretty. She walked around the house in an awkward way, wearing spotless white clothes with beads of the rosary hanging from one hand and the other hand rested on her back for support. She had silver-colored hair which was not neatly combed and was disorganized. She was constantly chanting prayers. He compares her to the winter landscape in the mountains, which has a peaceful and calm feel. She was a live example of a pure, white, peace-emitting entity. Paragraph 3 of your lesson. Here you will find a few more difficult words and their meanings. Let's see paragraph 3 in detail. The author lived with her in the village as his parents left him with her to settle in the city. The author's grandmother used to wake him up every morning and get him ready for school. She would recite her morning prayers while she bathed and dressed him up, and he loved her voice but would not try to memorize a word of what she spoke. She would make his things ready like a wooden slate, a tiny earthen ink pot, and a red pen. He would eat a thick stale chapati with butter and sugar spread on it. They both used to walk to school, and his grandmother carried stale chapatis with her to feed the village dogs. Please go through paragraph number 4 and the vocabulary 2. Explanation of paragraph 4. His grandmother would accompany him to the school daily, as the temple was attached to the school. He would sit on the veranda with other children, sing the alphabet and prayers in a chorus. Grandmother would sit in the temple to read the scriptures. After finishing, they would walk back home together. The village dogs met them at the village door. They would follow them to their home, growling and fighting with each other for the stale chapatis that grandmother fed them. Thank you, students. Hope the first part of the lesson is clear to you. We'll discuss the second part in the next class. Have a nice day. Stay safe at home. Bye.